Alright guys, thank you for allowing me to be here. So what we're going to do, I'm a true believer in warming up, and I'm a true believer in fundamentals. So we're going to get going with some, just a couple of drills before we get into our technique series. So you may have seen this before, maybe not, but it helps with basics, helps with fundamentals, and it just gets your body good and loose, okay? So we're going to be in this position where she has her hooks just like so. I'm going to take my V block onto her shins. I'm pressing her shins down. I'm pressing her knees down to her chest just like so, okay? We're going to go inside leg pummeling, okay? And so if you want to defend leg locks better, or if you want to have better guard passing, you're going to have to learn how to leg pummel, okay? So we're going to go inside. My knee is going to dip to the inside position. You'll notice how her heel is going to her butt. That's super important, okay? Now I'm going to take my heel and I'm going to wax my foot all the way over and to the inside. Don't make the mistake of having space here because she can just pummel right back inside. So press down and to the inside. Same thing to the opposite side here. Just reset yourself every time. So we're going to go inside leg pummeling. You want to pass inside, and some of you guys may want to pass it outside, so I'm just going to throw this drill in there as well. Now we're going to go outside leg pummeling, okay? So same principle, okay? My knee's going to dip down, but now instead of going inside, I'm going to weave it out to the outside. Shin pinning to the side. Make sure you're staying athletic and half stepping out here, okay? So here to here, okay? Notice where we are. We're shin pinning here, okay? I don't want to be here. There's really nothing there for me, okay? So here to here. Here to here. This here, if you wanted to get more in shape and things of that nature, it's a really good drill to warm up on. So what we're going to do is we're going to be controlling here. Same thing, pressing the knees into the chest, okay? Now, same thing as you're going for your knee cut. We're going to be cupping the hip here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle off to the J point, okay? Kind of like the J spot in basketball where you get into that, to the side of the court. Here to here, okay? Now notice what Twala's doing. She has a cross post here and a wrist post here, okay? That's super important. If she doesn't have that, she'll allow me to make chest-to-chest connection and I can just simply pass, okay? So she's gonna have a cross post here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take her head and delete it, just like so, okay? Now I'm gonna switch her hips and go the other way, okay? Same thing. I'm gonna delete the cross post. Into some general rules and fundamentals before we get into the actual technique, because concepts are more important than technique, okay? And that's just my opinion, okay? So Larry, you back for me? So we're talking about knee cuts today, okay? So a general concept on knee cuts is we need to create a wide base. If she's just like so, there's not a knee cut, okay? You might as well be, going outside, okay? Hitting these types of passes and things of that nature, okay? We're wanting to create this here, this wide gap here. That is so much more beneficial for our knee cuts, okay? Now, also, if her hips are facing this way, okay, you can't really knee cut. Why? Because you're always going to get blocked by that knee shield, okay? It's about 50-50 if we're here, okay? Because about the time I get to that hip, same thing, she may or may not be able to block me here. Okay, my favorite way to knee cut pass is when the hips are shifted this way. So about the time that I shoot across this way, she shouldn't be able to knee shoot you, okay? But we're going to talk about that stuff in different variations of the base, okay? Another golden rule is when you do get to your knee cut position, okay, the very first thing that touches the floor is your knee, okay? And that's so critical, okay? Your knee is the first thing that touches the floor. A lot of you are going to have this, especially if you're newer, a lot of you are going to have this habit of wanting to do this, okay? Where you're wanting to catch yourself and things of that nature. Don't do that, okay? That corresponds with another fundamental of having your posture, okay? Your posture is either one of two things, okay? You're either hollow-handed just like so, okay? Notice where my hand is. This allows my posture to be upright here, which allows all the weight to be here, okay? Hollow hand, like you're taking a picture with a hot girl and she doesn't want you to touch her, okay? Just like so, all right? Not here, because all the weight shifted forward. If she decided to come up to dogfight, I wouldn't be able to stop her, okay? Or if you're landing, you can land in hollow position, or you can land with a cross post, okay? Dogfight, okay? So you pick and choose, okay? Either here in a hollow hand or land in a cross post position, okay? Either or, you're going to be finishing most likely with a cross face here to settle the weight down and get her shoulder blades touching the floor, okay? So this particular one I'm going to show first, okay? It's probably the least technical out of them, okay? But it's probably the most technical if you can get my concept with this. And this particular one is fast, okay? We're hitting this one and going. But the only time that I hit this particular entry is if I can see her foot being on the floor and the opposite side underhook available, okay? It's called a step on the foot knee cut, okay? So what I'm looking for is staying in a good stance. We're hand fighting just like so. Maybe I peel, create space here, or whatever the case calls for, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna step on her foot here. Because the time that I go for my knee cut, if I don't step on the foot, and she knows, but if I don't step on the foot and I just go to straight knee cut, there's this gap between her knee and her chest that's always going to be closed off, and I won't be able to have that knee cut. Now I'm going to be in reverse de la Riva land, okay, where she's keeping her knee up and she's trapping underneath just like so, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm capping off all the space between, fall back, there, just like so. Okay, that's what I need, that space right there, okay? So this one's quick, okay? So over here, I step on the foot, and I'm gonna go with a deep underhook. As I go with a deep underhook, I'm shooting my knee across, just like so, okay? Making sure that you're not staying with a 12 to 6 elbow, okay? It's kind of where weight is right now. If I go 12 to 6, she's either gonna get, wait, go back, going ahead of me. She's either gonna get a knee shield in, okay? Or maybe I have my weight down, okay? Now she can arm pummel in, okay? Now we're here, just like this, okay? So we're going 12 to 6, and my weight's settling down here, just like this, okay? Bottom person, don't land on your elbow, okay? Number one, you can't defend yourself that way, and number two, the chances of you like hurting yourself is probably gonna be high because you're landing all the weight onto your elbow. She's gonna be framing on my hip, just like this, preventing me from wanting to come down, okay? So if you're dealing with someone longer than you, here's my suggestion. When you go to cross face, okay, what I want you to do is cross face, shoot this underhook deeper, okay? Also, this hand doesn't go to the floor, okay? Same thing, she can just re-pummel over the top, okay? I like grabbing to the back, just like this, here. So look at this hand here. When I go to cross face, okay, I'm going to go wrist to wrist, and I'm going to push her head further north. Watch your hand. Now it's off my thigh, okay? Now I can settle into my positioning. But what makes it so key is spine misalignment. Because once I get here, look where her face is pointing. Okay, Twilight, turn into me. She's not, okay? So when we're talking about dominant positioning, you're either controlling the spine misalignment with her head or her hips, okay? So we're here hand fighting. I see an opening for the opposite side underhook, and I see her foot on the floor, here, to here, okay? Now, as soon as I go to cross face, I'm shooting this deeper, and I'm wrist to wrist, here, just like this. I'm not out here, but I'm tucking it underneath her back. That closes all that gap right there, all that space off right here. So now, if I just go here, okay, watch. If I go here without following this fundamental, about the time I come here, she's getting that knee in, and some of you guys have probably been in this position a lot, okay? We're trying to avoid that. So we're here, pressing her away. Now we can settle in to here. Ready? Yeah. All right, guys. So now we're going to go into another variation. Okay. We're not even talking about stepping inside. That's coming up. Okay. I don't want to get you guys confused. Okay. We're still keeping our feet to the outside here. Okay. Now, what we're going to be doing here is a club into an underhook here. Okay. Same thing, I'm controlling her hands just like this, okay? If you're, and I've seen everybody go on this side, so I'll just teach it from this side here. My left hand is gonna be clubbing the back of her head, okay? I'm gonna pull her head downward as my right hand uppercuts into the space just like so, okay? From here, I'm gonna shoot my knee the same way across here, okay? But I'm continuously controlling here, okay? Now don't make the mistake when you go to get your underhook here, keeping your elbow down, because once again, she'll just re-pummel you, okay? We're here and elbow up, just like this, okay? And I even like having really good head positioning like this, here, okay? She has no chance of getting this inside space back. So when I shoot into this gap, we're in the exact same position, just like so, okay? But I want to touch this a little bit more. Turn this way. When I get ready to go, when I'm here, I'm shooting my hand, this hand here in particular, further and deeper, but I'm looking out this way, okay? So as my crossface hand comes, I'm wrist to wrist grip here. The reason why I don't go this way and here, okay, is when you go to pull something, you're never pulling something to you with your hand down. You're doing it like this, here, okay? So that's what I'm thinking about doing, here. Now, before I get too urgent and start pressing into her, I take my wrist to wrist grip underneath her here, just like so, okay? That's gonna give me more opportunity to do this, okay? I have more leverage and all that space is deleted for me to really punch her face away, which absolutely destroys her right hand, okay? And it limits the ability of her staying on that right hip, okay? Try to stay on your right hip for me. There's no chance. Okay, especially if I get your face looking into the opposite direction. But look at my hand, okay? My hand is solidified underneath her back. It's not to the outside here, like this, to where she has free game to move and things of nature and pummel. We want to be here, to here, just like this, okay? So we're here, club into an underhook, okay? Really, really detail the club, okay? Obviously in competition, you would really want to like throw that thing in there, okay? But for today's purpose, don't, unless you just don't like somebody. Boom to boom, okay? Hand fighting, boom to boom to here, okay? Now we punch it deeper, hand facing this way, wrist to wrist, tuck it in, and we finish, just like so, okay? Cool? All right, guys, a free range seminar, so depending on your preference of whether you want to finish it or if you just want to simply have, the guard pass, okay? So last time when we go to step in, and before I get there, I want to clarify this too, and we're going to get here, but I do want to step in on most of my passes, okay? Inside positioning is always key in jiu-jitsu, but she's just not going to let me have inside position, okay? Just like so, okay? Now, I don't want to get too close without even any form of like reactions or contact because she'll just start sweeping me and things of that nature. So we play by the toe line. When I reach the toe line here, I need to go ahead and make some type of reaction here, okay? Now I have her spinal cord bent. I have control of her posture. Use your feet for me. Use your feet for me. She cannot. So dummy sweeps and all that stuff isn't fair game for her right now until she reforms posture control back, okay? So as I'm here, okay, you punch and then you'll continue to go for the club underhook knee cut. Now, this one's going to be a little bit more different because now you're going to use the vice versa, okay? Now, you're going to go right hand in and left arm into a chin strap, just like so, okay? Now, from here, you can be more reactive as being offensive, okay, and shooting the knee across, and I'll show that here, here, to here, okay? Or you'll get somebody who is like worried about the guillotine, and rightfully so, they should be worried about the guillotine happening. So what happens is when you club and get your chin strap, she starts running away from me, which already gives you the pass, okay? So let's turn this way. If you want to finish, okay, we'll take the cup here. We'll cup our hand upward here. And I'm going to flex my elbow to my hip as I straighten my right leg. And you get your tap. Okay? So before we make contact with her, okay, we're here. Okay, whether you want to go first or you want to be a little bit more reactive on the guillotine, if they feel threatened, she's going to run away for you. You punch it in, and you finish everything the same. Okay, show both ways one more time. Here, club, guillotine. Make sure you're chin strapping, and not only chin strapping, but you're cupping upward. Okay, so here to here, and you should not see their neck. Okay. It should be here, just like so, okay? Now, as she starts to run away, if you're worried about the pass, go ahead, punch deep. Here, cupping, here, okay? So repummel, no chance. Now, if you want to finish, you finish there, or you can release, get underneath her again, and finish the pass there. I talked about before, just a while ago, how you want inside positioning. That's always key, is having inside positioning, okay? In any aspect. If you don't know much about jiu-jitsu, if you have inside spaces on somebody, the chance of you winning goes dramatically up, okay? So she plays into this tight butterfly positioning just like so, okay? Now, what we want is an inside step. Now, I talked about this at the beginning. You never truly want to cut on the same side hip, because of the knee shield from the bottom person. So if I just step in and cut here, she's already going to have this here, okay? Even with the underhook, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to work this little drill, and then we're going to blend it in, okay? So if she does nothing, if she doesn't take a wide step, if she doesn't put any weight out here, okay? So don't do the right thing, okay? Go ahead. Follow me just a little bit, though. Go ahead. It's easy just to get someone's back, okay? She has to follow you, okay? So when she goes to follow me, my bad. When she goes to follow me, I step in to the outside here, just like so, okay? Go back to it again. So it's a big step and inside here, just like this. Making sure that your knee isn't pointed here, okay? If your knee's pointed here and she draws her weight this way, now we're going to be into these positions here where we're getting false reap and things of that nature, okay? So we take a big step. Now we're here, pointing my knee into this direction, okay? So if she tries to pull me this way, okay, it's not impossible, okay, but it's going to be a lot harder, okay? Now, same thing as if if you're in a wrestling stance, okay? You're going to defend your front leg here with your hand, and if you're going to make contact with somebody, it would be your backhand, just like this, here, okay? So my hand here is already pre-gaming, okay? So when I step outward and I step inside, we're already here, into the underhook, okay? So we're here, into here, okay? Now everything corresponds with itself, okay? Now we shoot, punch, and now we finish. So we call this the inside step into the knee cut, okay? So we're here, hand fighting. I step big into here, okay? Let's do that again. We're here, I step outward into here. Making sure my knee's pointed this way, here. You get someone really strong, they like the gable grip here, and start pulling into this direction. I'm not going until it's my turns, okay? Now we're here. Punch, now we're finishing. So this is what happens when you fuck up, right? Alright, so inside position is key, okay? It always will be, okay? Other than like little minor things, okay? So you do everything perfect, but get your underhook, okay? So we're here, we inside step. I didn't get my underhook, and she claimed this position here, okay? You guys probably have been here a couple times, okay? It is super critical that you do not have your knee vertically or to this left plane here. She is going to toss you over and throw that foot over the top. Now we're going to be here, okay? You do not want to be here with a good leg locker. We want to make sure that our knee is facing into this direction here, just like this, okay? Now, be super smooth with your training partner, because I really want you guys to understand these details, okay? When you get into this position, heavy base, turning this knee out this way, okay? I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to frame on her shoulder, just like this, okay? My left is gonna grab her leg and I'm gonna pick her up. Before I do anything, I wanna clarify this. The reason why this helps so much is number one, she can't really turn this way, but rustle up for me. Thank you, well thank you. Right, now she gives it to me, okay? It's not impossible, but super hard. Now we're gonna add one more thing to that. Pose, pick up, and we're gonna step. Now we're here. Her weight's shifted this way. If she falls over, beautiful. Now we're in our headquarter position. Okay, now she's carrying my weight, and now I'm passing, okay? If she's stubborn, most people will be, okay, because they don't want to give this up. So I pose, pick up, and step. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit down enough to where I'm pinching onto her arm just like this, okay? We're not gonna go with a deep underhook, because if I go deep underhook, then she uses this kickstand to kick me forward. Now I'm gonna be here, okay? So what we call this is a shallow underhook, to where I'm just cupping her back delt here, okay? Or this man's lats. Here, pose, pick up, step. Now I shallow underhook here, just like so, okay? Now everything stays the same. We cut right back. It's beautiful because now her hand's trapped underneath my quad, or my hamstring perhaps, okay? Now I just do everything the same. I shoot it in, and I finish. So my goal is not to change the way that you're passing, but just to give you ideas around like a general concept. Here, we mess up, we didn't get the underhook. I post, I pick up, and I step. Look at her weight. If I was to stay here, it's pretty tough to stay here the whole time, right? This is exactly where we want to be, here, okay? But I'm gonna keep my hips down so I have a really solid base underneath me. Here, and this is the one I shoot really fast, okay? All right, guys, so now we're going to talk about some objections too, along with this. Now, you know, a lot of people are playing guard, especially because a lot of people are getting more transactive in the sport of jiu-jitsu. Okay, so there's more guard players and things of that nature. Shin to shin is a pretty big concept right now, especially in this new stage of jiu-jitsu. So we're going to play from the shin to shin position, okay? But once again, it's going to be very similar to what we're doing, okay? But we're already going to have the underhook here. So let's turn this way a little bit more, okay? So we're shin to shin. We have the underhook here, okay? Everything's the same. We're just increasing one little small detail. And this detail makes all the difference in the world, okay? Now, when you think about playing shin to shin, when you fall hip to hip, there's a popular detail that you should be exposed to, and that's elevating. You should always elevate somebody. Elevate, 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 okay? So what I'm going to encourage you guys is not to have jiu-jitsu toes right now. We're going to have ballerina toes, okay? Only time I ever say it, okay? Only time I ever say this, okay? We're here, I'm going to shoot across. When I shoot across in a shin to shin, if I have jiu-jitsu toes right now, look where my toes are pointed downward, if I have jiu-jitsu toes, there's a true connection, like a hook, between both of our feet, okay? So now she has a lot of great exposure to start elevating. Now we're doing something like this, okay? So when I go to shoot across, we have ballerina toes. Okay, so when she goes to elevate me, there's no elevation at all. Okay, I'm sitting back into my toes right now. If I start to sit up even a glance, okay, my weight starts to shift forward. I'm sitting back with ballerina toes. If she tries hard enough to start elevating me, okay, it just slips off. It'll slip right on off. Now, we finish again. So, ballerina toes in this instant, okay? And true weight going vertical between your feet, your knees, your hips, and your shoulders. Don't let anything come forward. If anything comes forward, she's gonna be able to elevate you. Especially, I'm bigger than Twala, and she's able to elevate me in these positionings, okay? You cannot let your posture continue to go forward. So if you're building the tendency of putting your hand on the floor, When people get you shin on shin and you go knee cut, you're going to be tossed to the side, okay? That's going to allow people to wrestle up, or it's going to allow people osteoglomy injuries. Or if you're standing, it'll be single leg A's. Okay, so we have the underhook here. I shoot across, ballerina toes, and I sit down. Once it clears, now I can shoot in, and I can finish. Okay, so let's turn this way. Okay, so you can get a backside glimpse to it. Underhook here. Okay, high and tight. We shoot it across. I'm gonna flex my toe right here where the gym bag is. Here. Okay, my toes go up. So if she tries hard enough, it just slips right on off. Now we punch and we finish. Okay. If you want to drill it, that's fine. But I think a beautiful thing about seminars is the Q&A portion of it and stuff like that. To really pick someone's brain. I think you really learn a lot, and you can just kind of dive into like what you need help better with and things of that nature. So I'm gonna show this particular technique, and then I'm gonna let Q&A happen. So same thing, we're gonna go shin to shin. Okay, we mess up. She has the hook. Okay, we're gonna pose, pick up. Same thing here. But the most beautiful thing about this part is since she's so connected here. Look, her whole entire hand is trapped here. Okay, same details apply. We go to a shallow hook, and now I'm gonna step with my left leg and bring it across. Now we're here. Okay, now I'm punching, connecting, and then finishing to here. Okay, so it's very similar on the failed recovery from the inside step. You just have to make sure that when you're punching across, that your ballerina toes up rather than jiu-jitsu toes, and then you guys will kill it. So slight difference there, but yeah. So Q&A. I love leg locks. I love wrestling. I love guard passing. I love back takes. So anything in those four particular areas, I think I have a really well balanced game. So if you guys want to ask me anything, I'm a big knee cut guy. I'm also I love playing headquarters. I'll show headquarters, but I'll blend this in there as well. And it's something that Heath can testify to, and it's something I've been working with Heath as well, especially in jiu-jitsu, a sport jiu-jitsu aspect. If I'm competing, I am not wanting this particular person to be on their butt. Okay, they're too mobile, too agile, they're too much of an athlete. They can keep up with me and things of that nature. People are just too good here nowadays. Okay, I want her in supine. Okay, so we classify this as open guard. Me stepping in here and putting her on her back is what we call supine. Okay, this is where we want us to be passing that. So sit up. So same thing, I emphasize the toe line. When I step into the toe line, I don't want her to have the form of connection. So same thing, I'm protecting my own leg. So when I step in, I'll cross post here, pick up, and my shin goes behind, just like our drill. And I'm sitting down, cupping her hip and controlling her knee. From here, if I can keep my fundamental of having a wide base, look at her base. If we can keep that base wide, I'm going to punch here in the armpit and carry it across into my knee cut again. If she knows, maybe I hit it on her a couple times, she knows it's coming, or whatever the case may be. Maybe she doesn't like this direction that we're going, and she wants to kind of guard retent back to the other side. Either she pushes the knee down, or B, I take her knee across my abdominals. Either or. If her knee's flat, now I'm going to sprawl into this direction over here, just like so. Okay? From here, we C block here. I take my left leg forward and high step around behind the ankles. Now we're going to be passing to the right when my left hand grabs the trap. Now we're in our gift wrap set to here. And then I'll blend it one more time on your back. If we are in the guard and sport jiu-jitsu, I'm never here, I'll pull a gun out, shoot you in your belly or something. I don't want to be in your guard at all. I don't want to be here. So avoid here as much as possibly can. In competition, in practice room, you got to hear time and time and time and time again, okay? So number one is I have to have my hands on her. Can't have my hands on the floor. I can't let my elbows shift across the midline, and I can't let her have posture control. I'll throw one more in. She has posture control. We delete it so we're able to get our posture back. But other than that, I want to V-block her into her armpits here, okay? Something that's happening nowadays in sports jiu-jitsu is when you go to step up, either A, I'm going to get swept, or B, people drop into K-guard, okay? So hook here, nope, hook your hand, drop your knee. Things like this start to occur, okay? So this is my way of defending that, and it's been really successful for me. I'm here, I press her away, okay? That's gonna allow me to put all the weight into my hands and to make my legs weightless, okay? My legs are weightless, that means I can move my legs. I'm gonna walk my knees underneath her butt, and now I'm gonna walk straight up. And I really emphasize this. Don't look at somebody, okay? In my kids class, I say don't be weird. In my adult class, I'll say don't be gay. Because if you look another man in his eyes, it's gay, okay? So pick somebody up in the crowd. Look at somebody, okay? Look at your girlfriend, grandma, whoever's watching you. Look at somebody. Now we're walking upward, and once I get my heels touching the floor, now I can sit back, okay? So I want you to do a better job of locking that up for me. So let's restart this. So good lock for me. Pressing her away, knees underneath the butt, walk, 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 and now we sit down into an invisible chair, okay? I have all the leverage here. She's not sweeping me, she's not going to K-guard, she's not doing anything, okay? From here, if I want to pass this way, hand in the gut, not here, but beneath the shin, here is where we want to press downward. As soon as we press, I do not let her feet be on the outside of my hips. Okay, I put her foot in the middle here. Now we're in the same opportunity of knee cutting, or I can step behind that leg again, and we're in the exact same position. So it all blends together. Hope I answered your question. So we're starting now, okay? First and foremost, as soon as I get into mount, it's kind of like anything. As soon as you get someone in a bad position, they start panicking, or they have a set of reactions within 5 to 10 seconds, okay? So I get her here, she starts bumping and things of that nature, okay? So during that time span, I am not looking to attack, okay? I am looking to weather the storm. So I'll put my hands here, sit my weight backwards, and pinch my knees at her hips, okay? My toes are super critical in this scenario. If my toes are on the outside of her hip line, move your feet. If my toes are on the outside of her hip line, just like this, she's going to be able to get to her hip. Do so. Like that. So go back. If I'm here, you can even cross here. Go ahead and get to your hip. No chance. Okay? Until you cross my feet. Until you out-pummel my feet. Now, a late stage of this, if she is able to get to her hip, I'll put my foot right there in your quad. Go ahead. Hip escape. Not a chance. Exactly. Okay? So that's first and foremost, weathering the storm. Now, if I'm able to get to one underjack, okay, meaning a cross face, and here, I'll walk up into a chopping block scenario, okay? You also have your mother's milk here, okay? But don't be urgent with this, okay? You can absolutely sit here, okay, and make people carry your weight. If it's a 10-minute match, you get here in 2 minutes, guess what? We're here for the next 7 minutes and 55 seconds. Now I'm gonna kill you in 5 seconds. With 5 seconds left on the clock, okay? Because when you get people tired, jiu-jitsu becomes fun. So from here, I'm gonna make a long post to where I'm behind the nudge of the elbow. From here, I'm taking my hook grip, which is my chin, and I'm hooking behind her elbow, just like so. This is gonna allow me to take my hand and free it into a C-block scenario. Now I can C-block and adjust myself into a head and arm positioning, okay? If I'm gonna finish, I S-grip, windshield wipe, and I'm off to an angle. We don't squeeze. I literally put my chest behind her shoulder and I press my chest into her. Now it's an easy tap, okay? If I feel the need that maybe she's catching my windshield wipe as I'm progressing off or whatever the case may be and I can't get off, okay? We go to a gable grip to where I put my gable grip elbow down just like this. Same scenario. I'll stretch that leg down and put my elbow behind her chest. My chest behind her shoulder. And I get a tap. If for whatever reason she starts to bridge, okay, bridge. Nope, wrong way. You can't bridge this way because I have your elbow right there. This starts to occur. This hand stays down. Outside hand, we go to a pretzel grip here, just like so. Now I put my elbow on the floor. We finish. Okay, so 3 different reactions you have there. If, and I'm going to get to your question here in a second, if we can get to a double underjack scenario, okay? Now I'm grabbing onto her head. I'm going to apply a chair sit into my S mount, okay? From here, if this arm is exposed, I'll finish, okay? If it's tucked, what I'm going to do is put all the weight into my hamstring, which now she's carrying my weight and it makes her bridge less effective. I take her hand to my hip, around, and stuff it, just like so. Now, we go to a spider web position, where I put my hand on the floor, and this is probably the heaviest position of all of jiu-jitsu. Taking my butt into her sternum, shin across, and now we finish. She decides to roll me. We finish here. Come back. So, 1 underjack, chopping block, 2 underjacks, S mount. Now, a reaction type base would be her trying to hip escape me here, okay? If she tries to apply a hip escape, what I'm going to do is as she turns to her hip, go ahead, is I'll grab her wrist like so, so when she goes, go ahead, I'll pop out into a chair sit position. I'll feed it here to here, just like so, okay? Now I'll windshield wipe this leg underneath, and I'll pull her up and to the side. Okay, if you're a big fan of body triangling, I'll switch off, grab my leg, and now we're here, just like so. So the only time I gift wrap is when I'm being threatened of going to quarter guard or half guard. But my tendency is, hey, we have to stay in mount. I don't want to give up the back because I watched the fight to where, obviously the guy took another guy's back 30 seconds into the fight, was there the whole entire first round. Second round he came out and he lost. So you tell me the back's the best, rather, when I'm in mount, what do you have to carry the whole entire time? My weight, me, the entire process. There's never a time when I'm mounting you're ever going to be comfortable. Okay, you're going to be carrying my weight the entire time. You're constantly being attacked and everything. So if you can just manage to stay in mount the whole time, you're going to kill people. Rather than me taking your back. Obviously you can't fight me from your back, but other than a body triangle, there's not many ways I'd make you too uncomfortable unless syncing up a rear naked choke or efficiently applying a back-mounted triangle or switching off to an arm bar. What we've been working this Thursday is kind of blends into your question, Barry, and Ashi. So if we're in Ashi and she attacks a straight ankle, if she gets her chest to the floor, go ahead, she's gonna finish me. Okay, so when this occurs, I'm gonna take my hand, I'm gonna grab the inside of her knee, and I'm gonna pull her into this direction. Why? Because as long as her back's on the floor, finish a straight ankle, not a chance. She's not going to finish a straight ankle with her back being on the floor. Okay? Now, that was from the defensive point of view. Come here, switch roles. So, to help the person not being straight ankle from Ashi, she opens my knee up, and we come here. Now, put your foot in the floor. Okay, from here, if she starts to turn her head away, now we're talking about the bottom person. If she turns her head away, stop. I am not going to spiral, okay? She is going to spiral. I'm not going to physically turn. If we stop here, guess what? I just finished. She's going to be the one to constantly create the spirals, okay? From here, my foot that's on the hip, we're going outward, so go, stop. Outside foot comes here, okay? Now, my knees and my head and my body is going to form a ball. So as she progresses into a spiral, we stop the spiral by going outside ashi. Keep spiraling, not a chance. Now that gives us the leverage to get our chest back on the floor. And we can finish once again. If you stay in ashi, you're going to keep rolling. So that's how we stop the spiral, okay? It gives us the opportunity to get back, chest being on the floor, okay? So same thing. And then the other reaction would be, and Twyla found herself in this scenario this past South Georgia submissions, something that we cleared up, and I feel confident that she'll be able to excel in next time. So go ahead. Stop right here. The other option would be to come and face me, okay? Grab my head, sprawl back, get your knee to the floor, and create this smash pass scenario, okay? So, when we're here, my hand, go ahead, progress, it's going to stuff her in the armpit, just like this. This is going to prevent her from getting a vertical spine with mine. We're still at this T scenario, okay? From here, okay, I'm going to take my foot on the hip, progress it to the floor. This is going to help me create a kickstand scenario to where I can take my inside foot up, and then for my reverse entry. Now we finish with a high elbow, straight ankle. She pulls her foot back, we reach for the inside heel, now we have our heel. If we're from here, she's cross close to me here, okay, same thing. Now I'm gonna spit some game at you. Okay, from this position here, I'm hovering over her hips, making sure that if she tries to invert, that I can catch her head from inverting and things of that nature, okay? But what I'm going to do from this position, okay, and I'm speaking in terms of leg locks, and then I'll speak from passing. My right leg is going to straighten itself out. Now you can see a gap between the back of her knee. I'm going to put all the weight into my left leg and windshield wipe to this position here. I'm cupping the top of her knee here and pulling her into this position here. The reason why this is so perfect is because her leg's stuffed underneath my butt, which makes it almost impossible for her to roll. Go roll that way. Not a chance. Now we can finish. If she can pull her knee out and start coming up now we just run that same system. Okay, do it again. She starts coming into me. We're in the exact same scenario. Okay, so one more time. Straighten, windshield wiping, collecting to here. Okay. If I'm going to finish from here with a straight ankle, we make the radius bone touch the back of the Achilles. We pinch, high elbow, and we finish here. If we're talking about passing, okay, what I'm going to do is if my knee's going to be on the floor, I have a two-step way of doing this. Number one is I'm going to trap the bottom knee. If her knee pulls out, this is really good for her, okay? I want to be here. I want to trap here, okay? Now, what I'm going to be thinking about doing is getting her back flat to the floor, okay? Here. Now we can start, so stay here. Now, once she's flat here, now we worry about the top side knee. Now we're in easy passing positions. If my knee is on the floor, upwards, just like this here, so hook there, yep. And we're just like this, something like this here, okay? I can lace here, smash, control her posture, knee cut out, and I can finish. To here. Or simply lift her up, take her to headquarters. Now we're there again.